So I'm Claire and I've been working at Pell Fishman since 2015, where I started as a graduate ecologist, and I've recently been promoted to a principal ecologist, working in the wider environment team. So when I first left school, I wasn't too sure what I actually wanted to work in, and I worked in retail for a few years before meeting some people who worked in the environment sector, and this triggered my interest to go back to university as a mature student and study conservation biology in Plymouth. And from there I met people in local mammal groups who introduced me to bat surveys and dormouse surveys, and explained that this is something that you can make a career out of. And when I graduated, I met somebody who worked at Pell Fishman who introduced me to the ecology team, and they were looking for a graduate ecologist. So I was very lucky to be introduced and start working as an ecological consultant, working on a variety of different projects. So most ecologists will have a degree in ecology or biology, or very often geography, but overall I think one of the key skills is to have a passion and an interest in the natural world around us. I don't very often get very far on a walk at the weekend without stopping to identify a plant or a bird that's calling, and this really does help to drive that interest. So a typical day varies throughout the year. Right now it is May, and the bat surveys and reptile surveys and great crested newt surveys are really kicking off in full force, as all of these species are coming out of hibernation and moving into their active season. During the winter we will often be doing wintering bird surveys and writing up reports and doing bat sound analysis. So my role has changed from being slightly more field-based to slightly more desk-based, but I do still enjoy getting out and completing surveys when I'm able to. So the part of my job I enjoy the most is going out and doing site surveys, and these vary from wintering bird surveys to summer bat surveys. So I enjoy any time where I'm able to get outside and escape the office. Yeah, so I think within ecology there is a huge variety of progression roles. Some people will specialise in particular species, whether that might be bats or whether that might be birds. Others, like myself, are looking much more at moving into specialising in ecological impact assessment and biodiversity net gain, which is ironically, that I like being out on site, is a slightly more desk-driven role. Some people might like to move into managing larger teams. Other people might like to stay technical, and I think that's the beauty of ecology, that there is a whole scope, and there isn't a particular route that you get pigeonholed into, and I enjoy the flexibility on that one. I think a lot of ecologists focus on getting their various protected species licences, which of course is really admirable, but I think some of those transferable skills is what I have found has helped drive me forward. That report writing, good communication, and knowing and good organisation skills as well is definitely a really crucial part of being an ecologist that I've found over the years, for sure. So when I first started, ecology surveys were sometimes considered towards the end of a project when the planning application was going in, and all of a sudden we were called in. Whereas now all the projects right at the very beginning, from conception, are bringing us in so that we are helping to shape those developments, and we're helping to shape those master plans right from the very beginning, rather than Ecology coming in and seeming to be a bit of an afterthought, and almost coming in as the bad guys who are having to tell people to make some changes. So I think, yeah, it's really changed for the positive over the 8 years that I've worked in the industry, and it's definitely been one of the forefront thinking points of all projects now.